Well, on the lathe I got a piece of carrot wood, a stump. It's about 9 inches diameter, more or less, on the longest point, I guess. Um, 10 inches by the time I get the snub, but that's going to disappear. You know, I was so impressed with the turning that Yuval have just did of a flapped over, I don't know what he called it, amazing piece. Now the piece of wood was amazing in itself, but still took a keen eye to see the potential for the piece. But regardless, even if I am not duplicating, I don't like to duplicate, but you get ideas from different people, and this will be derived exactly from Yuval's, but I'm not going to make the pedestal base, and you know, it's not going to be emerging like his. So his has a very special meaning to it, and mine's, hopefully, I just capture the look of the flapped over piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start rounding this off like it's a bottom of a bowl. Make a recess over here, or actually a tenon, because I can't do a recess. I'm just in a worm on the spur drive. But make a tenon over here so I can flip it over, do everything from the base, make a recess on the base, and then flip it back over and hollow out the inside of the piece. So let's see how that works out. Hopefully it comes somewhat respectable. The lathe is running right now 500 RPM. Okay, I think that will do it. Well, it's a shame that my bark came flying off. And I actually might put it back. I really did want to see the bark on this, if I can. Bark, but not likely. Oh. Found all the pieces. So, going to apply a little bit of medium CA to this. I hope that I got enough of an edge coming over the top. I might leave this a little bit thick so I can drape it over a little bit more. I'm not sure. And of course, this will be the bowl. I don't know what's going on here, but that will go away as well. And this carrot wood should prove to be interesting again. I love it when there's a knot or something like that already in it. And the grain is going in a nice pattern, so it should look pretty nice. So this one is going to be a bowl with a flap over, rather than something like what Yuval did. But regardless, I think it will be a nice look. Well, I'm back. Glued the piece of bark yesterday that came off from here to here, or here. And the reason why it came off, it was not because of a catch, but because it was separated from the wood itself. Well, I've already trued this side up and made a tenon and flipped it over. But thinking a little bit, you know, I think that I want to really emphasize on the flap over. So I want to bring this down the rest of the way to, I guess, more or less this point that I already have established. Keep about 1/4 of an inch here, and that will really give the whole piece a flap over look. I will stop just before getting this, even though I like this knot that's going through here, but I really have to kind of work that down a little bit more. So back to this turning. That looks pretty good. And I'm pretty close to these edges, so it's a matter of going in here and start working it out. think that looks pretty good, but I want to go in a little bit more. I want to emphasize more on this overhang than I do on the actual bowl. So I've got a little bit of tear out going through here that I need to clean up, but I cannot do a push cut up here, so I kind of have to work it from the bottom. And even then, it's not really a push, it's kind of a scrape because I don't have the angle to go in there and give it the best possible clean cut I can. But I do want to go in about another ½ inch on the top of the piece. The bowl itself is a little bit overwhelming. I want to establish at least 3/4 of an inch at the thinnest part of the piece. But I'm almost there. You know, I've seen some of the most beautiful pieces like this on Facebook. People posting just beautiful pictures, burls, all done with the same idea, and was something that I've been kind of had in the back of my the burner that I've been wanting to do, and just really never did it. But really, Yuval making that emerging face that he just did kind of really pushed me to go ahead and do this thing. And I think it's going to be a very nice piece as well. Definitely no, it's not a Yuval piece for sure. What he did was just amazing. The wood grain, the whole piece, he did an awesome job. So hopefully mine comes out okay, and I think it will be a little bit more uniform because the wood is slightly more uniform, but I think it will still give me what I'm looking for. You know, originally I said I was going to make this a mortise, and I'm going to do that because that's going to allow me to finish up the whole bottom, the foot, and everything else, and not rely on having to flip it over one more time. So I'm going to remove my live center, my tailstock, and go in there and start establishing a base on this. I'm going to go about 1/4 inch deep on that, and the size, I'm right about the right size to do that. So, parting tool, go in there and establish that. Well, the wood grain really is showing up nicely. Not colors, just the pattern. Got a little bit more sanding to do here and on the wings. And I'm not so sure yeah, I'll be able to get in there. Okay, I just flipped it. Flip the piece. I'm ready to go in here and make an edge to accept. I'm not so sure if I want to make this hollowed out and make a lid on it. I think that it has enough interest on itself for me to be able to go in there and just turn it. So this is where I would have to be more or less on the inside. I think I'm just gonna go slightly do a concave. So for meanwhile, because I'm not able to put a lot of pressure on that mortise so it doesn't split on me, I'm going to put my life center in and rely on that to hold it a little bit. Here we go. That's as much as I can get with the live center with the tailstock in, because it gets in the way of the angle of my tool. So I cannot swing in there without getting too aggressive by turning the tool upright. So I'm going to keep doing push cuts, but I need this out of the way. I'm good at the bottom, so I gotta undermine it a little bit to come up a little bit thinner on the walls on the upper part, but I don't want to go any further out here so I can maintain the solution. That's beautiful. Very, very little tear out on this, if any. very little right here. And on the rim. So time for the 80 grit to go in there and to finalize that. The body is as deep as these two wings. Actually, the three wings. That's the body, the base of the body, and then just the foot will be fully visible when you look at it straight on. So it will be looking like a floating droop over bowl. And it will stay a bowl. I like its simplicity, and I don't want too much to take away from what it shows. Would a lid and the finial look good? It would add a different element, and it would take it away from what it is. So those sometimes are the decisions we have to make on where do we stop. And like an artist, they only stop when they feel that they've accomplished what they were looking for. There's no real end. You could keep going and doing something, modifying something. You have to visualize something and say, that is it. That's where I want it to be. Yes, that's a nice touch. I'm leaving it that way. Also, one thing that I concentrated on a little bit on this, and it's a well-known fact that the eye plays major things with us that either make us like something or not like something. But it's a known fact that when you take things and break them down into proportions of thirds, the eye reacts to it a little bit better. So on this, I took the same basic idea. I took the height of the piece, the foot is about a third of it, and the flap over is 2/3. So, like a painting, you don't put the focal point smack center. You put it on thirds. And, that way, the eye carries throughout the painting and goes and finds its focal area, and it doesn't stay focused in one spot. That's why it's done. And if you look at this, I think proportionally it somewhat looks like that. I have the bowl itself about 2/3 of the overall diameter. Then I have the foot 1/3 of the whole height of the piece. So I think aesthetically it is well proportioned and well designed. Well, here it is, the flapped over bowl. And thanks to Yuval for motivating me to do this one as well. It's a really, really beautiful piece. You know, spray polyurethane over lacquer really gives you a nice finish, and not nearly as much sanding as you need to do with a hand buff system. And the results, I don't think I can get this ever with a rub system. You know, and those of you that like things that are shiny, and it seems like I posted a picture on Facebook of the vase that I did on the test, and I got more comments on it, on the finish, than I have on any other turning that I've done. So it tells me that the majority of people don't care what's on the piece. They just care that it has that shine. Yesterday, while I came in here for a couple of hours, I decided also, I was doing the video on this one, but I don't think I'm going to be posting this one. I think I'm going to do this one. I was doing a mahogany half a log piece as well. No bark because the bark fell off, but it's a really nice piece, and I was trying something a little bit different with this one. So if you look at it, you see like runs going towards the edge all the way down, if you can see that. And that was done intentionally. I literally puddled up the urethane on the center and let the gravity of the force of the lathe shoot it out to the outside. It just didn't go high enough. It would flatten up. But I was trying something different. But again, a super finish, and definitely another nice looking bowl. These little tips that stood in place really did some justice on there. So, two very different pieces, but this one, is it perfect? Probably not. I'll work on it. Could it use a lid? Maybe. But then again, I like its simplicity. So, tell me what you think. And comment on the shine. If you think that it's not kosher to apply this type of a finish, or if it's an acceptable method for finishing, let me know, one way or the other. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon. Today is Saturday. I've been working most of the night, so I deserve to do something nice. And this is how it came out. The base, it's a little bit tacky still. That's why I'm not putting my hands all over it. It will dry in about 15-20 more minutes. But I want to get this inside and post it for you guys. We'll see you again very soon. And tomorrow we'll start segmenting, I think. Even though I got so many of these pieces that I want to turn. But I promise something, and I will deliver. See you soon. Take care.